Digital marketing, public relations. What's the difference? Today, we'll tell you what is the difference at Labot Production TV. Coming up. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you're catching us live, thank you for being here. If you're catching the replay, thank you for being here as well. Today, we have a special guest, Taylor here from Resilient Innovation PR. How you doing, Taylor?
Doing well, doing well. I'm excited to be on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate and thank you for your time as well.
Of course.
So, like you guys have heard in the intro, today we're talking about digital marketing and PR. And as I was also saying a few seconds ago, Taylor is a public relation genius from Resilient Innovation Power. So she's going to share a little bit about it, her experience and her story as well. So we are a little curious, Taylor. How did you get started in PR?
It was an accidental start. I started out in education, and I realized that being, coordinator, being a program specialist, all those things, the programs and things that I was doing to bring um, more recognition and awareness to some of the gaps in STEM and things of that nature. It was actually I was using a lot of PR principles, and so in tactics, I'll say. And then just traveling around the world, I started getting hired for PR. And I really, really love doing it. Um, Bringing awareness, it's because I love making an impact. And I've always been that way. And so PR has really been able, really provided an avenue for myself and my team to make a larger impact in various industries, not just one specific industry. So it was an accidental blessing, if you will, as far as getting into the PR industry.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's kind of like you know how the students start in college and then they don't really know what they want to do, and then they take a lot of different classes, and then they find something or they resonate with something that they like,
hmm
and then it's like, oh, I kind of like this thing. Let me major into that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, and for me, it happened afterwards. So after I got my master's and everything like that. But my master's it translated very well. It wasn't just a one specific industry master's, instructional tech. So it goes for any industry. So it's been really helpful as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty amazing. So how is digital marketing then different than public relations? Oh, I think maybe yeah. Let's go with that. What are the differences according to you?
What I'll say is, and I'll just instead of just focusing on digital marketing, I'll say marketing versus PR. Right? They're both under the same handle. You need marketing needs PR, PR needs marketing. Um, and so there isn't a choose one, A or B. You need both. When you're thinking about advertising, you need to be thinking about PR as well. The difference between marketing and PR is that PR mostly focuses on earned media, which is basically free publicity. Um, the difference between or getting earned media is having content that is relevant and buzzworthy, or having a story, a message that is relevant and buzzworthy, that is then pitched to platforms, and that platform talks about you. That platform showcases you through their marketing avenues, right? So you are getting other platforms to speak on your brand, on your services, on the impact, on an event, what have you, um, where for basically for free. And so that is going to showcase your brand to a larger audience on in various countries, depending on the platform that you take, things like that. So, and then the prestige and the brand validity and the social proof, all of those things. Everybody can make a Facebook ad, themselves selling anything, right? But then if you have it from, if another brand is talking about you, if you're featured in Essence, if you're featured in Ultimate Gift Guides, anything like that, you have the social proof and that kind of brand validity a little bit for the quality of your services or your product. And so that is things that right now in this day and time, especially with the pandemic, everyone being online, making sure that your product is quality, and having that trust, building that trust with your audience is what PR is all about. And so right now, PR is needed way more than before, right? Because everyone is looking to trust the brands that they're purchasing from.
Right, right, right. Yeah, the common theme that resonates with everything that you're saying was obviously when you said quality and trust. But when I look at it a little different way, it's kind of like PR actually confirms that you are an expert that can be trusted.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it, right? It's showcasing that you are an expert. It's providing that validity. It
Right,
is showing people, that your product, and it's also showing the what the product stands for, right? If you're environmentally conscious or you're about all about sustainability, those things will ring true throughout your brand, throughout your website, throughout everything, and also throughout anyone who is covering a story on you or any interviews that you're doing.
right. Yeah, that is so true because just like you said earlier, anybody can do a Facebook ad or whatever it is, but that validation it's very very
It
important.
is, and it's priceless. Not just for customers to continue to purchase, but also to make those connections, right? From being featured on a particular platform that has a very specific audience, you can get a collaboration deal, you can get an investment, anything, anything can happen. So it's definitely needed, and it's super valuable.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, what's one of your best tips?
Oh no,
Oh,
I can't hear you.
oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? How about now? No issues. What about now? Oh, oh. Let me go out and get back
No, I
in.
can't hear you. Oh, there you are. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. We're having some little technical live issues. So that's the live show game. That's how it works. So we're back. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So I was saying, what's one of we actually on the marketing gems show. So what's one of your best gems for do it yourself PR for somebody, whether you're just getting started, you have a story that you want to share. Where can somebody start if they want to get some PR?
What I will say, in my company, we just published our own like DIY PR cookbook. So a little bit about me: I love to cook. I'm always cooking, and when I think about things and when I approach things, I kind of approach it like a recipe, a little bit. And so we created a PR cookbook, and that's basically it outlines start to finish, right? And one of the biggest gems within that is one of the biggest gems if you're going to do PR yourself, which is how to pitch yourself. And that's not pitching your business like an elevator pitch. It's completely different. The word pitch and pitch sounds exactly the same. However, they are two different things. What you do not want to do is approach a journalist pitching your business. You don't. You're not going to get the email, might not even get opened, but you will definitely be ignored. What you want to be doing is pitching your impact, pitching your message, pitching what
Wow.
you have done. If you are in the community, pitching your what you're doing in the community, what you're doing for sustainability, and then focusing on the platforms that are talking about those specific topics, right? You definitely do not want to be just speaking on, oh, my business has, five different flavors. That's not what you want to be doing. It's definitely not something that journalists are looking for. They're looking for a buzzworthy story that their readers are going to be interested in. So you definitely, definitely, definitely want to continue to pitch your message, pitch that impact, and make sure you do your enough research on the audience of that platform to make sure that your message, your brand lines up with that platform, and then you're more likely to actually get picked up by the platform, and they write an article on you or they do an interview, etc. And so, like I said, in the PR cookbook, if you will, we definitely outline how to do it, how to strategize for it, buzzwords, the whole gamut on how to do it. So, because as a small business owner, you may not be able to afford to go to a PR agency and become a client. However, you can start yourself and start to understand how to do it yourself. And so we really lined it out in that ebook. And if the biggest takeaway is knowing how to pitch your impact and your brand.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. That is the biggest takeaway, especially that part when you said you, they won't even reply or open your email if you pitch your business. You have to pitch the impact, and you have to pitch. Yeah, you have to pitch the impact. That was really that hit me right there. I was like, oh my god. Okay, I think I get it. So, would you say that? I mean, would that be what you advise to somebody to do before reaching out to a PR agency? Like like learning how to pitch to impact and getting your resource or starting learning by themselves? Or what do you think should an entrepreneur do before reaching out to a PR agency?
Um, I'll give this advice. You can go reach out to a PR agency at any point in time. There's never a bad. Okay, wait. There may be a bad time to do it if you have some reputation management that needs to be done, or crisis management that needs to happen. So there may be a time where you're like, oh, kind of missed out. However, what I would say to any business owner doing anything, whether that's digital marketing, whether that is handling your finances, all of that, you want to be able to know what should be happening. You don't have to be a specialist in it, you don't have to be an expert, you don't have to like it, but you should be able to know how to run every aspect of your business to an extent. So when you hire someone on, that you know and you're able to hold them to a certain standard of accountability. So someone can't just come in and say, "Oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z," and you, since you have no clue what it is, you just take them for their word, and maybe they do it, maybe they don't, etc. You definitely want to ensure whoever you're bringing on is quality, and a way to do that is, of course, proper research, but also having a little bit experience. However, that does not hinder you from going and approaching a PR agency and someone like Resilient Innovation and saying, hey, I don't really know. Can you tell me what it's about? Tell me what to expect. And just ask for some expectations and an outline that you can understand when it comes to doing that PR campaign and things like that. So you can do quote unquote on the higher learning, but
Yeah,
I would definitely do your research and what PR actually is, what marketing actually is, what it looks like, what it can be, the potentialities for it, um, and just so that you have a little bit of footing prior to. But you can definitely approach a PR agency at any point in time.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. And it's funny, a common theme that comes every time you talk to pros or experts or people that know what they're talking about like you. It's always do your research, make sure you know, especially that idea of doing your homework, like doing the homework, making sure it's legit, doing the homework, make sure it's quality. I've noticed you like using that word,
Yeah,
quality.
yeah, because that's what PR is all about. We're about showcasing quality, right? Showcasing things that are not just relevant and but well for me, we're Resilient Innovations, my agency. We are impact driven, right? If we showcase, we represent high quality brands, whether it's in fashion, beauty, agriculture, or tech, right? It's high quality, and so just circling back to being able to do your homework, it's hard. It's hard as a solopreneur, as a small business owner, to be able to know how to research different aspects of things, because you get a lot of on the surface sort of things. You get a lot of big words and things like that. And not to just circle back to it, but um, that's what I took into account when we created that PR ebook, so that it's clear, it's concise, it's a recipe, literally. It looks like a cookbook. It is designed like that, so that you can understand what you're doing, and doing it well. And then once you have success in that, because you will, then you can approach someone and say, okay, this is what I've already done. Maybe this is where I had trouble. This is where I struggled. But then you bring a little bit more to the table, and people and you're able to. I feel like you're able to get a little bit more from the situation when you can approach them like that.
Right, right. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And for anybody that's watching and wondering and curious, oh, where do I find the cookbook? Where do I find that recipe?
Yes.
We'll tell you. I don't want you to say right now. We'll hold on for
Okay.
a second. We'll tell you guys in a little bit. Just stay with us. We'll tell you guys for sure. And then I'm also gonna let Taylor know if you want to work with her or if you want to connect with her where you can meet. But we'll hold on to that for a second. I wanted to ask you something. Who's
Oh, go
the
ahead. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, that's fine. Taylor is she's in a little different environment. So if you hear
Yes.
something, it's people walking around. That's fine.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
who's your ideal clients? Like, if you were to work with the ideal, the perfect customer for you, who's that person?
The perfect customer, the perfect, sorry, the perfect customer for me, or perfect client, is someone who is hungry, right? Someone who is wanting to make an impact, disrupt the market space, right? Um, that's what I'm looking for. If you are an entrepreneur and you are ready to take it to the next level, 9 times out of 10, I'm the agency for you. Um, I am looking for clients that are creative, right? That are willing to push the envelope, that are willing to be on the nexus of their industry, right? I'm like I said, resilient innovation is all about impact. If you're making an impact, if you want to make an impact, if that's what if you've been driven to do, we have always been the agency for you, and that's who we look for. It doesn't matter your industry. It doesn't matter if you're a startup. We've worked with startup tech companies. It doesn't matter if you've been in the game, 25 years, etc. If you're hungry, if you're ready to take it to the next level, we're here.
I love that. I love it. It feels so good working with people that want to have an impact because it's a whole different energy and it's a whole different commitment when you're working with these kind of people. So that's very good. And then I also wanted to ask you, Taylor, what do you think should entrepreneurs do during this pandemic quarantine time to increase their business?
Um, Entrepreneurs should. take this time and opportunity to be innovative. They should take this opportunity to make an impact in some shape or form. If you are, for example, if you are a beauty product, right? And your body cream, etc., if it solves a problem, if your product, if your service solves a problem, highlight it. Highlight it to the nth degree. Learn how to write about the solution that you're providing. And then send it to journalists, send it to media outlets, send it to talk about what solution you're providing. We're in a time and age where we have a lot of problems, right? From every particular, it doesn't mean the community that you're in, race, color, creed, geographical location. We all have problems. And as a business owner, generally people are getting into owning their own business because they have a solution and they want to solve a problem. Highlight the problem, and write about it. Learn how to talk about your business from a thousand different angles, and create that solid message that gets people excited, intrigued, that is emotional, that it invokes a strong emotion, focusing on those pain points, all of those things. Everyone is solving a problem at some in some way, and you should be focusing on creating that emotion out of people, to develop that loyalty and that trust with your brand.
Right, right, yeah. That was powerful, and it, it, I think it's the biggest part of that. It's to, I mean, entrepreneurs, if you're watching or if you'll be watching the replay, it's about, I said, being innovative, being creative, and embracing and sharing your story, not being afraid to share, because a lot of entrepreneurs are still afraid to share. They still feel like, I'm not, this is what you have to do. Bringing that emotion, sharing exactly. I think you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just to add on that, a lot of entrepreneurs, what they end up having is they have a perfectionism, right?
Mm.
And this is a tip: take it to the bank. Um, right now, you know, right now, when it comes to digital marketing or just PR, in any shape or fashion, people are. They are responding more to things that are unpolished, those unpolished videos,
Mhm.
those live videos when you're raw, little uncut, right? That's what they're responding to, because now it's something that they can trust. When I talk about trust and providing that proof and validity, we have just the U.S. has come out, and we're still in a time. Actually, the entire world is still in a time where we don't really trust the politicians, our government officials, who we are supposed to trust, right? So we're going through we right now the entire world has trust issues. So that means your customer base has trust issues.
Right.
You have to those raw and uncut videos, those where you're showing your authenticity of your brand, you're showing how to make something or how you make your product, etc. That's what people are responding to, because it's something that it registers in our brain that we're able to trust this person. Because right now we've been through the ringer, right, with this entire pandemic on just trusting, right? So we right now, if just assume your customer base has trust issues, and how do you build trust with them? And you can utilize PR with that, as well as not exposing all of yourself, right? Provide, you can still have some privacy, but exposing your brand and being transparent in what you're doing. It will make the biggest difference.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny that you were talking about trust issues and the politicians, because I had that conversation with my mom a few days ago. And that's exactly what I said. We are part of this generation where it's really hard now to trust politicians because of all of the things that are going on. And we got to the realization that we own what we got. So that's why it's important to share your authenticity, just like you said, being transparent, especially as an entrepreneur, business owners, because that's how you build this trust, connections. Kind of like even earlier we had a little live cut. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I had to figure it out, but we kept going. So that's what it's about. It's live life, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's and that's what's relatable. And you want to be relatable to your customer base, to your clients, to your potential investors, all of that. You want to be relatable.
Exactly. Relatable. I love that word. For everybody that's watching, we have Taryn Glover here too as well. Hi Taryn, how you doing? Awesome question. I'm not sure what that is. You have an idea of what that is, Taylor? Is that somebody famous?
Maybe, or maybe it's someone potentially famous.
Maybe famous PR person. That's what. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I now for those that are excited about the cookbook, now we're gonna ask Taylor, where do we find the recipes? Where do we find the cookbook?
um, you can always go to my website. Can I put the link in the chat?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can put. Here's the direct link.
You can type
In
it.
the. Oh, sorry. Okay. Here's the direct link in the chat, where you can directly purchase the PR cookbook, which is what we call it. It is jam packed with super. I, it walks you through. It's a walkthrough, right? It's not one of
Right.
those ebooks that are, they're super complicated. The first 10 pages are from are about the person. I've never been that type of person. If I do a webinar, if I do an ebook, anything that I do, we're getting straight to the meat and the potatoes of the situation. We're talking about the
Stuff.
solutions, right? You can ask me about my personal life or, started from the bottom, how did I get here, sort of deal. You can ask me those things, maybe on an Instagram live of some sort. That's fine. But when it comes to my product, when it comes to talking about how to get to the next level, I take that super seriously. And that's what I like to focus on, the solutions. Like I said, we are impact driven. We are all about results. We're about solutions. And so that PR cookbook, it gets right to the literally the meat and the potatoes of how to get yourself in the PR, in the media, sorry, and gain the recognition that your brand and your services deserve.
Right. Straight into the meat and potatoes. I love
Yes, yes, we're straight to the meat and potatoes. There's no appetizer. There's a little dessert, but it's straight to the meat and potatoes.
it. Right. I love that. I love that. And my pretty much last question would be for everybody. I mean, we have the cookbook here, bit.ly/PR cookbook. So
Mm.
for everybody that wants to grab that, get on that link, bit.ly/PR cookbook. And for everybody that wants to connect with you or ask you questions or whatever, just maybe know your start from the bottom story in a lot more details, how you became an accidental PR genius in more detail. Where can people follow you or maybe your website? Where can people connect with you?
My website. Do I put that in the chat too, or it's Res Innovation, RES Innovation.org, right there. Most My Instagram, my Facebook handles are Innovation Consultant. I am all about being innovative, that creativity, that if the environment changes, I'm all about adaptation, right? So Innovation Consultant is where you can find me on Instagram or Facebook. And if you're on Clubhouse, I also have PR Tuesdays where I have helped myself and a few of my PR friends. We are helping small business owners, corporations, all these things understand PR, understand how to get into it, understand how a PR strategy, which is a huge thing. And so that handle on Clubhouse is PR_friend, because I am your PR friend. So if you follow me on Instagram, you send me a DM, anything like that. I am super duper I respond back, and I like to just help out any way that I can, whether if you're just bending my ear, things of that nature. So we offer consultations, PR strategies for the entire year, 12-month PR strategy sessions to get you into the media and learning how to leverage your media attention while also staying relevant every single month, all year long. That is a big thing. People think that you get featured in one article one time and you've made it, you're done. Nope.
Right.
Just like trends are fleeting, uh, the topic about yourself is fleeting in the media, and so you need to have a plan and a strategy on how to get in the media, stay relevant, stay in the media in a positive light. And so we do PR strategy sessions, we do consultations, all of that. We do those on Clubhouse as well. So you can go to our website, anything like that, and just connect with us or connect with me, whichever. I am the the CEO. So you can connect with me, and I connect you elsewhere.
Oh yeah, I guys, 12 months, year-long PR strategies. Because
Yes.
that's important. What she said. A lot of times, people. I mean, it's common misconceptions. You can't really blame everybody, but at the same time, you also kind of have to figure it out at some point. But a lot of times we feel like, oh, I'll get viral that one time, and then my business is going up.
Yeah, right. The thing is that, and you can look at a few businesses that use that viral model. They are consistently viral. They
Right,
go viral at least once a month, right?
right,
At the latest, if not more, right? Um, so yes, going viral one time is cool, great, um, but you have to be consistent, and there's a whole strategy plan to that. Do not think that it's instantaneous or it was an accident every single time. Maybe the first time, maybe even the second. But once you get to three and up, no, there's a strategy behind it. And they do it, they implement it, and they execute it. And just like we do with our PR strategy sessions, we plan it out, we tell you how to implement it, and it is up to you to execute it. Unless you become a client, then we execute for you.
right, right. Guys, Taylor just gave us the secret. She just dropped the gems right there. Virality, it's not always, you know,
It's not an
sometimes
accident.
sometimes there is a strategy. Sometimes not by accident. So
Right, right.
if you guys want to know how to go viral over and over and over and over again, resinnovation.org, or you can DM straight up on Instagram or Facebook at Innovation Consultant, or as well if you are on Clubhouse. I will be on the PR Tuesdays for sure. PR that I mean not that PR underscore friend on
Yes,
Clubhouse.
yes.
And then what time on Tuesdays for the
The time. So I have a group, our clubhouse room, the Amplify room or Amplify Club. Clubhouse is still new. I'm trying to figure out the lingo here, but
right,
you can follow that group. But PR Tuesdays are at 12 p.m. Nope, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we are there every single Tuesday. We do a 2 hour block where we get to the knit and grit. We give you a few gems and tips, and then the stage is open for Q&A. That Q&A literally takes us the entire time um, there,
right,
and we have other PR gurus that are in the game, that are in the media from all over the world. Not just, I'm currently based in the US. Before I was based in the Middle East and China. But we have PR gurus that are in the UK, some that are elsewhere, and we help as much as we can for every business, and just things that you never thought about, right? Or opportunities that you didn't take advantage of. So that's what we show you, and so everyone comes in with their pen and their pencil, and they're taking notes and they're learning, and it's just a beautiful experience.
right, right, right. Absolutely. So That was my last question, and we thank you so much for your time today with us at Marketing Gems. You gave us a lot of gems. You even dropped some secrets. So I would be on the PR Tuesdays for sure. And again, anybody that wants to connect with you, guys, PR underscore friend on Clubhouse at Innovation Consultant on Facebook and Instagram. And again, get the cookbook, my friends. Bit.ly/PR cookbook. And that was it for our show today. Thanks again, Taylor, for being here. And we'll catch you guys next week for the next show. I will not tell you right now what it is going to be. It's going to be a little surprise. It might be another secret. Another
It might
secret
be.
might be. We don't know, guys. Taylor, do you have maybe any last word before we leave?
Um, if any last words would be, when you are thinking about marketing and advertising, you should be thinking about PR. Getting into the media, getting that brand validity, getting that social proof is so key and so instrumental. And you're able to utilize that, repurpose that content for all your social media platforms, for your website. When people go to your website and they see that you have an entire tab called Press, and they see everywhere that you've been featured, they see that you have some magazine features, they see all of those things, it makes them more likely to purchase, more likely to refer a friend, more likely to give you a testimonial, all of those things, because they know that you are the real deal. So when you're thinking about marketing and you're thinking about advertising, think about getting into the media, think about PR, think about getting into the press. And if you need any help, please, please, please feel free to reach out to Resilient Innovations, to reach out to myself, to just comment, whatever. Reach out, ask questions. We are always here to help.
Reach out, ask for help. That's very important. Reach out.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for tuning in, and then we'll see you guys next week.
See
Bye
you
everyone.
then. Goodbye. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Thank you, Taylor.